All right, welcome everybody. The crew is in the house. Welcome to NorCal Sports Network. Friday night, Giants demolish the Rockies 11-4 behind the red hot Tyler Fitzgerald. Giants look like they may have another player of the week, everybody. Wow.
Another building block.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Another young player.
All right, guys. Welcome to NorCal Sports Network, where you can also hear us on Spotify, Twitter, Apple Plus, and what else?
Instagram.
Instagram. Yep. TikTok. We're moving around, guys. We are out there. And so please hit the subscribe button if you would. Do us a favor. If you're watching, hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel's algorithms out, and we would really appreciate it. It would mean a lot to us. So thanks for doing that. Just hit the subscribe button. Just scroll down, hit it, boom, you're done. That's it. All right, guys. Wow. Giants look good tonight. One of the best games I've seen them play in months.
One of the most complete games they've played all season, I think. I mean, both offensively and defensively, they were on it from start to finish.
Yeah, they had no errors. They only gave up 5 hits. Kyle Harrison was unbelievable tonight.
I'd say that was his best start as a major league pitcher.
No doubt.
Yeah. Harrison went 6 2/3, only 1 hit, 1 earned run, 2 bases on balls, 11 Ks. Threw 106 pitches, 65 for strikes. His ERA is down to 3.69. This is good news. You know, we're going to talk about this. We're going to get into the future a little bit, but let's break down the game first and get into the players of the game. The game kind of started off in the bottom of the first, led off the games. Jorge Soler 1-0, and that was a pretty good shot that he hit. And then in the bottom of the second, they get a couple more runs. VR led off the inning, striking out. Yaz walked, and then Bailey singled to center, moving Yaz to third. Schmidt hit a sacrifice fly to shallow right field. The second baseman caught the ball over his head, over his shoulder, basically. And Yaz very astutely went back to the bag, seeing that how he was going to catch it and be off balance. He wasn't on the bag the whole time waiting to tag. He had come a quarter of the way up the line, 20 feet up the line maybe. And when he saw that the second baseman was likely to catch it, he ran back, got back just as he caught it, touched the bag, pushed off of it, and that's the kind of aggressive play you do early in a game, especially when you're up 1-0.
Yep.
And I love that play by Yaz, making it 2-0. And then Soler singles him home, and it's 3-0. And it remained that way until the top of the third, where the Rockies pushed a run across with a sacrifice fly by Ezekiel Tovar. And then it remained 3-1 all the way until not all the way, just another inning or so. Bottom of the fourth, Soler reached on an infield single after 2 out. Well, no, wait. Forgot that. Bailey struck out, but then Schmidt tripled to right.
That was a great at-bat, by the way.
Yeah.
He was down 1-2, I think. Then he worked it to a 3-2 count. He fouled off a bunch of tough pitches. He took a bunch of tough pitches. Then he went with the pitch to Triples Alley. That's something you love to see from Schmidt, especially with the struggles he's had in the past. Being able to be down in the count and working the count to get yourself in a favorable situation to make the pitcher have to throw a strike, and hitting a bomb to the right center gap. I mean, that's textbook.
Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome. And then Soler Hill, who won't be here for long, special
Is,
Louis.
is there is there any doubt who makes out the lineup?
Exactly. I put that out. You saw that tweet. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Can we put that to rest? I mean,
yeah.
Jesus. Like, there's no manager that would take a guy right off like that, the scrap heat, and just put him right in the starting lineup. He might be on the roster and sit for a while, but not just start every single game. So
yeah. Hey, if you're getting a lefty, you're in there. Never mind. Conforto hit a double yesterday to bring it to making a 4-3 game late in the game off of a lefty to deep right center. We got to make that platoon. There's no way Melvin's making that call to put Derek Hill in the lineup. His hands are tied, man. You might as well have Chardall making taking the lineup card out there.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Chardall lineup, boy, that would be good. Is Derek Hill any relation to Glenn Allen Hill? About one of the farthest home runs I've ever seen the Giants.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, you remember that home run
at Wrigley? Oh my god,
that was something else. Oh yes, and then after Soler reached on an infield single, making it 4-1, Fitzgerald comes up and launches a 400-foot home run to left field, making it 6-1. Then in the bottom of the sixth, Hill grounds out to shortstop. Soler walks, and Fitzgerald hits another almost 400-foot home run, this time 397 feet to left field, closer down the line, and it's 8-1. So it remains 8-1 until the top of the eighth. The Rockies get a couple of runs. Doyle tripled to right, Stalling scored, and Tovar scored. And then in the bottom of the eighth, just a rocket. Elliot Ramos, man, he's got some power.
Oh man,
and that was not backspin. That was top spin.
Yeah, he hit it on a line. I mean, you like to see that from Ramos because earlier on the road trip, in Colorado, he was struggling. He was like 1 for 12 or something. And he wasn't looking great. He was chasing that high fastball, and teams were going after that. For the past couple days, he's seemed to get his stuff together. He's hitting the ball the other way, and he's hitting for power again. So it's good to see him being able to make those adjustments. He's a major league hitter.
Yes. How about the top three in the Giants order? They went 3, 6, 8 for 13 with 4 homers and 10 RBIs.
That's what you want from the top of the lineup.
8 for 13, 4 homers, 10 RBIs, and then Crapman batting fourth went 0 for 4. I'll
tell you the 2 triples, or the first triple by Ramos. It was a leadoff triple. No one runner on third, no one out. Get him in by any means possible. 3 pitches, Chapman strikes out. Who's after Chapman? Is it
Villar?
VR. 3 pitches, VR strikes out. Then Yaz strikes out. That is prototypical SF Giants baseball. Hit with runners in scoring position. They just can't do it. And they did the same thing when Schmidt hit the triple. They just can't get him in.
Yeah. There's an opportunity right now to completely sell if the Giants were, with some of these guys getting hot, like, I don't know, Yaz is coming around, Soler's starting to come around. If you actually went ahead and started trading these guys, take a look here at the actual standings of the wild card. Giants win tonight, but they're still 5.5 back. It's tough to gain ground when the teams above you are winning. The Mets won again. They are in the top position.
Fire.
They've won.
Not only that, but they have to leapfrog multiple teams.
Correct.
It's not like, that's a lot to ask.
Yeah, you got to leapfrog Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Arizona, and either San Diego or Atlanta. That's 5 teams you got to get on top just to get into the 3rd spot. So that's going to be tough because not all those teams are going to lose every day. And even if you win and if they win, you don't gain ground. So you have to, the only really way to gain ground is if those top 3 teams are losing. Mets, Braves, the top 3 teams are all separated by a half a game. And then you got the Diamondbacks 1 game, and then the Cardinals a game and a half. 5 teams within a game and a half. That's like crazy.
Mm-hmm. And those teams are all going to buy. They're all going to buy. You have an opportunity to just sell to these teams. You're in the driver's seat. You have what they want. So just give it all up, get some prospects, get some young players, and just play out the season.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Tell me this. Imagine this as a lineup next year and tell me how this would look. You somehow get rid of Soler this year. And, I was thinking Luciano first base, but you can make him your DH. I don't know if you keep Wade back first base. All right. Second base looks like maybe. How about Wisely? And maybe if Estrada's here, some type of platoon possibly. Mm-hmm. Fitzgerald, your everyday shortstop. Casey Schmidt, your third baseman. Your left fielder, Matos. Your center fielder, Lee. And your right fielder, Ramos.
That's an exciting lineup to watch.
And
it's got a few too many right-handed hitters in it, but
you got Lee and Wisely as the lefties, and
Bailey.
And Bailey. So you still got 4.
Yeah. 4 and 5. I like to see a balanced lineup if possible, but no, it's a younger lineup. It's an athletic lineup, and that's what we've been clamoring for forever. So
yeah, I mean, why does it take guys like the 3 of us to call out that Fitzgerald should have been playing all along, and Ramos, and we're still saying the same thing about Matos, because I think Matos could be special if you let him play. I really do.
You want to know why it takes the 3 of us?
The eye test. I mean, we're not looking at our little chart here and analyzing. Let's see. It says that with against the lefty, he sprays the ball very weakly over to the left side. So don't play him with the left. Okay, we'll just follow this instead of just.
We don't look at that. We just look at the player. We look at their upside. We look at their strengths. We look at their weaknesses. And, it's not just about statistics and about if you hit better in cold weather and hot weather. And I mean, if you looked at watch what Eric Miller did with Ohtani in this past series, he owned him. If Farhan was GM, he would pinch hit Ohtani. Following he's like, oh, he can't hit this guy. He's coming up in a key situation. He would. He would. 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts against Miller, and because that paper would come out of the computer, he would say, "Oh, this guy doesn't hit him. Let's pinch him." Can you imagine the Dodger fan base on that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Do you guys know how many walks Jorge Soler has in his last 5 games?
I would guess 10.
10 walks in his last 5 games.
That means he's taking more pitches and he's not
taking more pitches. Exactly. Dan, you suggested trading Soler. The Giants have him for 3 years. I wouldn't love to see him not be traded, but I think the Giants should be able to hold on to Soler and not build around him, but have a more competitive lineup next year with him, because I think he's seeming to do well in the leadoff spot. For whatever reason, he's not your prototypical leadoff hitter whatsoever. But I think he likes hitting with no one on base. So for whatever reason, that relaxes him. And I think, like any other player with some more talent around him, I think he can be an even better player. I don't think you're going to be able to get as much for him this year just based on the year he's had so far. I don't think I would be hesitant to trade Soler just because he still has a lot of potential. Like the power is there. He just hasn't had a great year so far. He's seemingly starting to figure it out a little bit more right now. So that's good. And you can see what he can do. Like when he's on, he's on. He's on fire right now. I just think you can sell, but you don't need to just get rid of everybody. There's some pieces that you can still have. There's some vets that you can still keep on to help round out the team.
But if they did move off of Soler, Atlanta wants him, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that would open up a spot maybe for Luciano to DH.
Yeah, if you can get a right type of player. Look, I don't want guys that are 15 below. I want top 10 prospects. I want top 10 prospects for these guys that you're going to be given. Now, some of the guys you're not going to be able to do that. You know, Conforto's not going to bring you a top 10 prospect as a rental. But, you know, and you've all heard our spiel, my spiel about Logan Webb. It's not going to happen, but what an opportunity. What an opportunity, because what do the Giants lack? Depth, quality depth. I mean, you can't be for sure if Wisely's going to be really great. You can't. And you can't say the same for Matos, although he looks like he could be good. That's why you go out and get maybe a Heston Kjerstad in a deal. And you have, because you need depth. And then you go out and get Kobe Mayo that mashes at first base. And you start building guys that can just hit the gaps and power, and you get three guys for Webb and Duvall like that. And now look, your rotation's okay. You got Harrison, Birdsong, you're going to have Wisenhunt. You can sign. I mean, look at what was signed by Kansas City this year. Seth Lugo, Michael Wacha. Guys like that are available. You had Alex Cobb recently. You've got three mainstays in your rotation with the guys I just mentioned, Birdsong, Harrison, and who's the third one that it could be a Wisenhunt.
Could be Bivens. People are forgetting about him. That kid's pretty nice.
Yeah, for some reason he's not on the active roster right now.
Why?
No clue. They have Mike Baumann, who they just acquired and just gave up 2 runs in the 8th or whatever. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, Spencer Bivens is a great story, and he produced when he was here.
It's been a big game.
Exactly. I mean, there's no reason to have Baumann, who you just acquired, just leapfrog this guy. It really doesn't make any sense.
How ironic. Every time they pick up a guy fresh off the waivers, he has to play right away. He has to be justified to be picked up. I got to see what I got in him. That is not Melvin pulling those strings, man. Not at all. But you know what? A good general manager, a good player personnel guy, no matter what sport, understands his roster and understand where he might have depth and a lot of talent and where he's weak. So like Dan was just saying, you know, if the Giants have potentially looking into next year and the years after a lot of good young starting pitching, maybe you can move off of Webb. Maybe like you guys said yesterday, it's going to take Webb to get Mayo. It's not going to be Snell because he's not long term.
But don't forget Jordan Hicks. That's right. Jordan Hicks.
They have a lot of starting pitching, and they need to figure out who's going to stay in years to come and who's not.
I heard that, Mike. I heard that today. Dave Fleming was on Bonta and Shasky in the morning roast, and he came down a little bit on the front office. He says, I don't understand why Bivens. He says it looks a little bit more like 4 years ago, where they're just bringing guys in. Why are we? Bivens he pitched, according to Fleming, he won one of the most important games of the year a few weeks back. Was that against the Dodgers or something? Or
I think it might have been the Phillies. Was it the Phillies?
No, I think it was. Not sure. He pitched a good game recently. Anyway, he's doing well, and he's liked in the clubhouse. There's good vibes. See, Farhan doesn't know.
He doesn't understand the human element. He just doesn't.
Farhan's a geek. Farhan's is a nerd, and because he's a nerd, he doesn't get that there's chemistry involved, and that's why the Giants look flat most of the time. And they're constantly. It'll be interesting to see what they do tomorrow. If they come out and sweep a doubleheader, they have a little momentum, going into Sunday, and then they get the A's for 2. 1 week you can snap things into it, but to me, the worst thing that can happen is what happened in 21. The Giants played out of their mind, and everybody thought unbelievable. If the Giants sweep the Rockies, I could see Farhan doing very little and then thinking that they're just so close, and then they miss again, and here we miss a great opportunity to get rid of a lot of these guys. I mean, I would move Chapman. I would move Conforto. I would move Yaz. I would move Soler. I would move anybody I could that would bring me good prospects. That I don't want depth in the minors that brings up Trenton Brooks as my depth piece. Come on. You better have more depth than Trenton Brooks. Okay. And
well, let's see if he learns from his mistakes. I say
won't.
Not.
I don't think he will, because I mean they're not getting rid of Chapman. It's just not going to happen. If they will sell, it's going to be a Conforto. It may be a Yaz. It'll be like a Flores. It's not going to be one of the players that plays every day. It's just not. They're not going to sell big. They're gonna sell small. It's just going to be bits and pieces.
They should move Snell, unless
they should move Snell.
Unless they did what we talked about, but they're not smart enough to think this way.
No, they're not going
to. What I would do is go trade Logan Webb to Baltimore, something like that, like the trade I mentioned, get a haul. That money that you're saving by getting rid of Webb's, what is he, close to $20 million he's going to be making for the next 4 years or so?
17.5, yeah.
17.5, 18, whatever. Yeah. Take that extra money and extend Snell for a couple of years. You only have to use about 10 million of that. And now a year per year. So you can buy, let's see, they owe Webb probably what, 75, 80 million after this year. You can put some of that money into Snell. Now you got Snell coming back, who's going to be healthy because he's not going to miss spring training. And you get Snell, Birdsong, Harrison,
Ray.
Oh, I forgot Robbie Ray. Yeah.
Ray and Hicks.
Yeah. You got a lot of lefties, but as long as you have, I wouldn't go 4 lefties, but if you got 3 lefties, I'm fine with that. 3 lefties in the rotation.
Yeah.
Because they're quality lefties. They're not, they're not just lefties that just get beat up against right-handed pitching constantly. So I would just think, man, you can make some moves like that. But see, Farhan's not going to do it. But the only reason we point it out is to show people and tell people and hopefully get this word out amongst the other media members of the Bay Area that would start talking like this. Nobody thinks like this. They all think, oh, you can't trade Webb. Well, you know what? I don't think the Giants are going to have enough pieces to get impact players back off of the players they have to deal. Webb will get you impact. The other guys, they're just going to give you the middlings that they have.
Maybe one of them pans out. Who knows? But it's not
Yeah.
going to be any top 10 prospect. Keen O says you do that, you lose the entire fan base. You do not do
Wrong.
that to Webb. You're
Wrong.
already losing the entire fan base by just playing this middling game. I mean, most of the fan base is just pissed right now at what this team is right now. I mean, Webb. I mean, it's a business, all right. At the end of the day, it's a business. It's not family game. It's a business.
The fans need to realize it's a business. They're the only ones that still think it's a game. Everybody else thinks it's a business. And Matt Williams was a lot more popular of a player than Logan Webb is with a lot more accomplishments. And Sabian traded him, and the team got better because of it. So no, you will not lose most of the fan base.
And let me tell you about the fan base. You want to talk about
if it loses the casuals, good.
Yeah. You want to talk about the fan base? What was his name? Keno. Did you see the Giants-Dodgers series at Oracle a couple weeks ago? It was overtaken by the Dodgers. It's Dodger Stadium North, like Levi Stadium. The Rams is Levi South.
Yep.
Okay. Did you see the Giants-Dodgers the last 4 games in LA? Every time the television scanned the crowd, I saw no Giants hats. I couldn't find one. I was looking. Do you know a few years ago, back in the Save days, a few years ago, but during the heyday of the Giants, Dodger Stadium, even though the Dodgers may have been even winning the division in 13 and 14, that stadium had thousands of Giants fans in there. Thousands. Of the 50,000, I would say 10,000 Giants fans were at the game. Giants fans don't care. The fan base, the casuals, the true fans aren't going to waste their time.
At all.
Nope. At all. I mean, it's just, if you know baseball and you understand the game and you understand that it's a business, you know that sometimes tough decisions need to be made. And whether that's trading Webb or trading someone you think is a valuable asset to the team, at the end of the day, it's a business, and your goal is to get better, and your goal is to be good in the future. Because I mean, this team isn't winning it all this year. There's no way. I
swear they just think they're Arizona. The Diamondbacks do that, and they just think, oh, well, we can do that.
It was a one-time thing.
Right. Just like 2021, they just hold on to like lightning in a bottle, and they think, oh, that could happen again. They're not reality and not seeing the bigger picture. The true baseball fans are going to know that if they do certain trades and they get some certain prospects back, and I said this the other night, I don't trust Farhan to get the right, prospects coming back.
You tell it, Smoking Joe Frazier. You tell it, man. I'm telling you, Smoking Joe Frazier, you're speaking the truth right now.
Love Joe. But no, I mean, the longer term plan is you're starting to see some building blocks with our own young guys. You add a few more young guys. And again,
yes,
I say this all the time. They grow together. 22, 23, 24-year-olds. Probably most of them are single. They're not married with kids yet. They're hanging out. They're just bonding on and off the field. That's how you get a championship team, not, oh, we're going to go for the third wild card. Whoopee. Look at my third wild card shirt, everybody. That sucks, man. Stop having such low expectations. I've never worn an NL West champion shirt. I've never won a National League champion shirt. I only wear a world championship.
There we go.
Or just a basic SF Giant stuff.
There you go.
Raise your expectations, guys. Raise them.
There you go. I love it. I love it, Los. Someone asked, do I like Fitzgerald? Mike says, yes, absolutely. I've been high on Fitzgerald all year. I've been saying, if you guys have been watching the show, I've said Tyler Fitzgerald needs to be in the lineup somewhere. When Ahmed was playing shortstop, I was saying, get Fitzgerald in 1 to 2 days a week at shortstop. Get him a day or two at second base, put him in left field, put him in center field. I don't care where you got to find a spot. The kid is an athlete, and I knew he had power. You saw it down in Sacramento. He was smacking the ball out of the park down there. You could see his body's build. What is he, like 6'3"? He's got upper body strength. He's very athletic. He reminds me, you know what he reminds me of? A little bit of a bigger Trey Turner.
Okay, I can see that a little bit. I mean, he's one of those guys who adds a different element that the Giants don't have. He adds speed and he adds power. I mean, that combo is a great combo to have. I mean, he has 8 home runs now already in like 100 at bats. He's bringing it, and he's playing solid shortstop. You don't need to be playing elite shortstop. You just need to be average to above average. You don't need to make the obvious error. But I mean, he's a young player that you can now build around a little bit. And Dan, you were calling it all season long and earlier in the season. You want that Chris Taylor role because it's valuable. Being able to play multiple positions is very valuable because you can give other players rest and you can also allow other players to spot in. He can play all outfield positions. He can play shortstop, second base, and first base. I mean, that's 6 positions.
I do like him just at short, just because he is locked in.
I like him at short too, but if someone
prior to,
exactly.
Prior to, they didn't have a spot for him and they weren't playing him. Big Ben Bamboo says Melvin couldn't see it. I think he could. If we could see it, I think Melvin could see it. The problem is Farhan is making the lineup out. Farhan is controlling. He sent him down. Farhan sends him down. Farhan didn't want Ramos. Farhan is missed every almost talented person. I mean, he drafts Fitzgerald. His scouts draft him, and Farhan cannot see that he's got the ability to play. He makes a mistake. He gets picked off, and he's sent down. That's it. Luciano makes a couple of errors, gets sent down. How about when Chapman made like 10 errors in just over a month and a half or so and was like leading the league in errors at one point for third baseman? Does he get sent down? No. How about when guys that other veterans, how long do we have to watch Slater?
Don't even mention his name.
Do you think it's better for Fitzgerald long-term hitting ability if he plays at one position or if he goes around at other positions? And before you answer that, let me just kind of remind everybody, shortstop is a demanding physical position. You can play the outfield and maybe get 2 balls hit to you all day long. So your legs are a little preserved out there, as opposed to shortstop is usually the captain of the infield. A little bit more responsibility to make calls along the infield. So I don't know. I kind of like him in the Chris Taylor role. I could see left field still being a problem next year for the Giants, and I could see Fitzgerald starting a lot of games in left field. I mean, that speed shows up a little bit more on the outfield and helps you more than at shortstop. He's not a bad shortstop. I don't know if he's yet a dominant defensive shortstop. So I, for one, like him kind of going all over the place, but being in the lineup 5 or 6 days out of the week for sure.
I think at some point you have to figure out who your shortstop is.
Yeah.
And right now he's that guy. Right now you've found it. He's playing shortstop he's playing a good shortstop. He's hitting. So right now you don't change anything. If you want to look at shortstops in the offseason or find a shortstop in the free agent market, you can look at that and move Tyler Fitzgerald around. But I think you need to have that stability up the middle. Lee is going to be your center fielder next year. I think Wisely might be your second baseman next year. If Chapman's here next year, it might be Schmidt. You have Bailey as your catcher. I think that middle, up the middle, is stability up the middle is something that's important to have. I think right now Fitzgerald is good in that role. He's playing well, so there's no need to mess with it. But I don't know if he's a natural shortstop. I didn't watch him throughout the minor leagues. I don't know if he played shortstop as his main role or if he moved around. But just having the ability to be able to move around is valuable because it shows that you're athletic and you have tools.
Yeah, that question is more for next year and beyond, not this year. This year, I agree with you. He's playing well. Leave him at one spot. He's still kind of young. He still needs to be mentally get into being what it is to be a professional ball player, week in, month in, out, year in and year out. So yeah, this is more of a after this year. Do you see him as more of a utility guy, or do you think he is the shortstop of the future? Be interesting because he's the type of player we've been begging for. He has speed. He's a gap hitter. He has a little power. Pitchers are going to make adjustments. Let's see if he falls into the Luis Matos thing where he gets really, really hot, might get player of the week, and then falls off a cliff. I don't think so, but let's see what happens with him.
I mean, if we're talking about the future, I can see it both ways. Like, I like him as a utility man. I think that has a lot of value to a team, but at the same time, I would like I said before, stability is good at the shortstop position. And if he can just focus on one position in the offseason and work defensively at shortstop, that'll make him a better defensive player. It'll take some stress off of him. He knows he's the shortstop.
I like that, and I also like the idea of having kind of a set infield. You remember the Giants of Sandoval? I mean, Sandoval, and Crawford, and whether it was Panic and Belt. The Dodgers, it was Garvey, Lopes, Russell, Say for years. You get that continuity of an infield. It's kind of funny. It's almost like, even though they are not the chemistry, it's not like basketball with, but there is that chemistry
Defensively, yeah.
Yeah,
especially on the double plays.
Yeah.
Right. No, definitely. And since the Giants are kind of an unknown, I mean, they've had Luciano at short, they've had Wisely at short, they've had Ahmed at short. Now they have Fitzgerald. I mean, am I missing somebody?
Estrada.
Casey Schmidt's been at short. Estrada's been at short. They've had 6 shortstops this year, so I get it. Like, he's playing well. He's doing good enough defensively. But I tell you, it's tantalizing. It is tantalizing to think of Fitzgerald in left, Lee in center, and Ramos in right with that speed. Those are 3 very, very good defensive outfits.
Well, what do you think of this? What happens instead of trading a Logan Webb type for 3 guys? Joe Shasky presented, go out and get Jackson Holiday or whatever and get the established shortstop for the next 10 plus years and have that guy, that kingpin, and then maybe you can move Fitzgerald to second. He could play second, and then Schmidt at third, or you can. I would be fine with even if you had Fitzgerald at first. He's tall. How tall is Fitzgerald?
He seems tall. Let's look it up.
Because I know
he's like 6'1", 6'2".
I know
6'3".
6'3". Put him at first base and make Luciano your DH.
See, the thing with that, though, is I think
he's so athletic for
exactly. If you put him at first base, you're wasting some of his athletic talent.
Yeah.
I mean, first base isn't an athletic demanding position.
Who would you guys want out of Jackson Holiday and Kobe Maya? I want Maya. I want a first baseman, damn it, that can hit 20 to 30 bombs.
They could go get Mayo. Yeah, go get him, man.
I want Mayo.
I think you can go get him. He could be had right now. He's blocked. Well, he's not really blocked. I mean, but Basalo's blocked. The catcher, the young stud catcher, he's blocked. I mean,
because Jackson Holiday, he had a pretty good look. It's not like the Giants where he had an 0 for 8 or 1 for 10 and he got sent down. He had a long look and he did not look really well. Not to say that he won't, but I think the Giants have guys like that. We don't know. I mean, it's sad to say, but what if Wisely's better than Holiday? I know in draft status and on data status that Holiday's supposed to be the better player, but what if Wisely is when it's all said and done? And we have him right here. What we don't have is a power hitting first baseman, middle of the order guy.
Correct.
That can drive and runs.
I've seen a lot of Brett Wisleys, okay, in watching baseball. I like Brett Wisely. I don't think Brett Wisely is going to be a star.
No,
he can be
He doesn't need to be.
He could be your kind of,
he could be like a 7th, 8th place hitter.
Yeah. Or he could be the guy that platoons, and he could be that pinch hitter that comes up in the 8th inning.
I made the comparison that he reminds me of Donovan of St. Louis.
He plays good defense. He plays good defense. He's a good defender, and that's valuable. That's valuable to have. I mean, your whole team isn't going to be filled with all-stars. There's going to be a few players that aren't the all-star caliber player that are just fill-ins. You can't have a whole team of all-stars like the Braves have pretty much every year. It doesn't happen.
Lee Fitzgerald, Ramos.
What would you do with Matos?
Sounds real nice. I would give Matos out of spring training every opportunity to win the left field everyday job. And if he wins it in spring training, he wins it. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. But I would give him every opportunity to get consistent at bats and see what he can do. And that's just how it's always been. You earn that job or you don't earn it. Because somebody that might be a 24th round, Mike Piazza was like a 33rd round guy. He was just a throw-in because he was Italian, and Tommy Lasorda, I think, knew his dad and said, let's draft this guy. And he turned out to be a Hall of Fame catcher. You just never know. Baseball is that one sport where you just a 30-round draft pick. I know they don't go that far anymore, but somebody that comes out of nowhere can outplay a first-rounder. It happens all the time.
Yeah, it happens
all the time. So Matos has the skills, but he has to earn it. He has to do it. I think mentally he's messed up. I've said that many times. I think
they screwed with his mind. What are they doing?
Yo-yo with him, up and down, up and down. I think if he goes to another team, I think he'll be a really good player.
Hey, look,
I don't
Matos.
know if he's a big player here.
I think he's a special guy because you know what? He's got really good bat to ball skills. He really does. You watch him get in there. He doesn't back off of anything. He's crowding that plate. He is, and he loves to get in there in the big moment. Problem was, think about this. I asked the guys this the other night. If you did everything you were asked by your coach and you succeeded and you went above, it happened to me. I was playing a basketball. I had this one kid. I was in high school. I was sophomore in high school. I was behind this kid, and I thought I was better than him. But you know what? I just played and took and practiced. Well, he was screwing around, and he didn't show up for practice for a couple of days during like a break period, like a school break for a week. I think it was like must have been around Christmas break or something. We had practice. He just skipped. So I got in and I got to start next game. I got 19 points in 3 quarters. And you know what? I was back on the bench the next game, and I was hot and I was playing really good. And I was back on the bench the next game. I was like, what do I got to do? It doesn't matter what I do. Matos, I think after he gets player of the week, then he goes into a slump and he gets sent down, and then he goes back and starts hitting up down there, and they bring him up and they don't even play him. It's like, he's got to be like, what am I doing?
It takes a toll. It definitely takes a toll. And you know who they're doing that to now? Casey Schmidt. They pinch hit Wisely for Casey Schmidt today after Casey Schmidt hit a triple. I mean, they bring up Schmidt. It's his first day back. He hits a triple. Why not just let him play one full game and see what he can get you? Why are you constantly just fiddling with these? It's at bat to at bat. It's not game to game. It's not week to week. It's at bat to at bat. If he has one bad at bat, or if it's a righty, or if it's a lefty, whatever it is, it's like you're out. You can't. You're telling these players that whatever you do, you can't earn your position. It's
you can't learn no matter what field you're in business and work if you're not thrown in the fire all the time. You learn by your mistakes. Dan learned in his field by mistakes he made. I know sure as hell I learned by mistakes I made as a young loan officer. So that's the only way you're going to be able to do it. So every time you make a mistake, if you're completely shut down, it's just a bad message and it's a bad philosophy. And they've done it for so long, and enough is enough. It would be very interesting if Farhan was let go. And the second that it happens and we come on here, there will be speculation on who is going to take his place. I hope to God they don't just keep it in-house and let people.
Oh, please don't do it. Don't do Petulia. Don't do some.
I could see them doing that though, Dan. Yeah. I could.
That's the safe option.
And that's what the Giants do. They're safe.
That's exactly what they do.
Yeah, I don't be surprised if that happens. They hear all the noise. They're tired of it. Farhan gets let go, and they promote Petulia to being the guy.
Do you think Petulia is better than Farhan?
I don't know. I don't know what this guy is.
That's true.
He's a mute.
Let me address this wise guy real quick. Darren Merchant. Dan was your teammate, James Smith. No, Bob Cousy was my teammate. Ta-ta. Okay. All right, guys.
Age is wisdom. Age is wisdom.
What do you think of this? Yaz or Conforto gets dealt? Possibly both, but I think one gets dealt, opening a spot for the rest of the season for Matos. I think that happens.
I think both of them should get dealt. Because, I mean, there's no reason to have Yaz or Conforto on your roster. Yaz right now, he's playing really well. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. He's playing well. He has like a 116 OPS plus, and he's playing elite defense. He's playing the game the right way too. You saw it with the sacrifice fly that you mentioned earlier, Dan. He's aggressive. He's hustling, and he's fast. I mean, he has value that some teams want, and I think he has another year of arbitration. So I think you just get rid of both of them.
All right, let's say they do that. I got one for you. They get rid of both. You move Fitzgerald to center field. Matos plays left. Ramos plays right, and you bring up Luciano to play shortstop the rest of the year and see what he got. What do you think of that?
Love Luciano's bat. The glove worries me a little.
I would,
still.
you know.
But if you're gonna sell, let's see what he's got.
I'll give you a better one.
Especially if they're out of the race, just like throw them out there.
I would put Schmidt at short because I think Schmidt. Yeah, I think I would still bring up Luciano too. And they're not going to get rid of Chapman though. That's just, I don't think that's happening.
Why not? Why not?
Because of the relationship between him and Bob Melvin.
Who cares? Who cares?
Okay, like we would do it, yeah, but the Giants aren't going to do it.
But they're not going to. He's going to opt out anyway.
Exactly. Yes, he's probably going to opt out, but they're not.
Get rid of him and get something for him.
Yes, they should. They should trade him to New York. They need a third baseman. You can get some prospects in return, but it's not going to happen. I just can't see. I can't see Chapman being traded on this team. I just can't. I would love to see it happen because I would love to give Schmidt a shot at third.
What did you do tonight? 0 for 4. He's still stuck at 45 RBIs. We're in game.
Yeah.
He's at 40. He's the cleanup hitter, and he's got 45 RBIs. Man. This was the issue I said you would have with Chapman when they signed him. If you guys recall, I said he's not going to hit. He's a streaky hitter. He's a great third baseman. He can run the bases. He's a heads-up ball player. He plays every day. That's valuable. But he's not valuable on a team like this. Because what did he do last year? He was with the Blue Jays, and they didn't want him back. And they had Vlad Guerrero and Bichette and Springer. They had talent, and they didn't want Chapman back. He's valuable on a team that's loaded. Put him on a team that's stacked. He'd be a great Dodger in place of Muncy.
I think he'd be a great Yankee. I think he'd be a great Yankee.
I think there's an outside chance he gets moved for him.
You think so? I haven't heard anything. I've heard stuff about Snell. I've heard stuff about Conforto. I've heard stuff about Yaz. I haven't heard one peep about Chapman getting traded.
I don't think he will.
That's when something happens, though, because we know
not with the Giants. Not with the Giants.
No. When we hear all the news in the world, the Giants are this close to signing somebody. They don't. So
That's
maybe
true.
when we hear no news is when something actually happens.
Maybe.
I just want to see Casey play. Look,
I want to see Casey play too, but I think
play him in his natural position. He's a Gold Glove caliber third baseman. Play him there.
I think he could be a Gold Glove caliber shortstop too. I just don't think. Do you think Luciano is the long-term shortstop?
No, but you know what? You got to find out.
Why do you want to mess with it? No, because I think they've already found out. That's why they're playing him at second base in the minors. I mean, he's
why are they playing him? I don't understand. You don't have a first baseman.
He should be at first base. I think
he should be at first base. They don't have a first baseman.
They don't. They need a power hitting first baseman. I mean, you've gotten like 8 home runs out of.
If you can't go get Kobe Mayo, then make Marco Luciano your first baseman because he can play first. He could have been learning first base in the last 5 weeks or so that he's been down in the minors, and he should have been playing first base. You know, you could get lots of work on the off the field with the coaches. It's footwork, it's ground balls, it's tossing the ball to the pitcher, it's throwing. He could do that because he's a shortstop.
I don't think he's a shortstop. Luciano.
What I'm saying is he's played shortstop. That means he's athletic.
Okay.
So
yeah.
He could play first base.
No, yeah. Exactly.
They don't have a first baseman. I don't understand why they keep saying, where can we put Luciano? Hey, you know what, guys? Earth to San Francisco Giants. You don't have a first baseman that hits for power. How many home runs does Lamont Wade have?
3. I mean, everybody can clamor about
how many does Flores have? 2?
5, I think. I think he has 5. I think they have 8 together. You can clamor about Lamont Wade's OPS plus and everything, that he draws walks, and you need a power hitting first baseman. You need someone that can hit bombs on this team, and you don't have anybody right now. Maybe it's Soler. It could be Luciano. I mean,
George says it drives down his value. What value does he have right now, George?
Did you see the newly updated top 100 prospects list? Luciano is nowhere to be found.
He's not in it. His value's gone, George.
His value's at an all-time low right now.
They've actually
do the Giants even have a power hitting first baseman in the minors?
Eldridge.
Yeah. That's their power hitting first. He's about 3 years away.
About 3 years away.
Okay. Well, need a bridge until he comes up. He's ready.
No, you do. I mean, I think you should consider trading Wade. Wade could be a good
he
trade
should
piece.
trade him. Yeah, trade Wade.
Because I mean,
he's free. We said this about Flores last year. Trade Flores while he's hot. Did they?
Flores and Cobb. No. We said it last year.
And what are they both giving you this year? IL.
Nothing. They're giving you negative, actually, because they're taking up roster spots.
Yeah,
they have too many starting pitchers. Really, they need to move off a couple. They really do.
Yeah, they got this kid Encarnacion that Mike says he could play first base. First of all, we got to see if he can hit in the majors. Just because he's tearing up AA and AAA, we don't know. Well, I guess he tore up the Mexican League in AAA. I'm thinking of somebody else, De Los Santos, that got traded from the Diamondbacks.
Hey, those Mexican League pitchers are
hard. But they've got to go athletic. Just think of this, what we talked about. In the lineup, Schmidt, Fitzgerald,
Ramos,
Matos, Lee, Luciano. I mean, Bailey. You got, 7 guys there under 26?
I like it.
I mean, come on.
See, I think Chapman on that team could be of more value than what he has now, because Chapman brings you an athletic element. So he would be mixed in with that. Chapman's an outlier right now, so he just doesn't fit on this team the way it's constructed right now. But if you surround him with more athletic talent, more speedsters, a little more youngsters,
he might have some. I mean, look, Chapman's a sound baseball player. He's probably their best all-around player beside him and Ramos. But look, they're 5 games under 500. I mean, this is what I asked you guys: is, 5 games under 500. What value does he have right now? 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 What value do you could say, "Oh, we can't trade Webb." Well, how you doing with him? Tell me how that's working.
And he's not pitched well lately.
Nope.
And if you read between the lines and hear his interviews, he's not happy. Remember his interview at the end of last year? We allude to it. Like some changes need to be made, and we know who he was talking about. Well, that guy's still here, and there's
he's still here. Exactly, Los.
And there haven't been any changes. And
there's still a 500 team. And Webb, for all the criticism about him not being an ace, he's a competitor. And like he wants to be a Giant. You know, these other guys, Snell, Robbie Ray, Alex Cobb, they don't want to be a Giant. Webb knows what it's like to be a Giant. And does that mean anything? Yeah, it kind of does.
That's why he signed the team-friendly deal. I mean, he signed for like, what was it, 17 and a half? He's worth, on the active market right now, he's worth like 25 to 30 million.
Bingo, man.
It's still the same lingering stench in the clubhouse that there's this smell, and it's coming from the front office, and it just flows down from the front office, and it just seeps through the cracks of and right down into the clubhouse, and it smells like Farhan. and that's the issue, because the Farhan stench is what's got Webb. You remember what he said, Los? You nailed it. When he was talking about things got to change around here, he wasn't just referring to Kapler.
No.
What do you think that long walk with Kapler walking the field was all about? I mean, he talked with Kapler. Do you think it was just Kapler? Maybe there was a talk between the two of those guys, and they're saying, maybe Cap saying, "Man, my hands are tied. You know, Logan, I can't call all the shots here." Maybe Kapler looked checked out because he's not making the lineup. Maybe Melvin kind of looks a little disgusted a lot.
Yep, I was just about to say disgusted and sort of worn out.
Can you imagine the Giants playing a big game in about a month from now, and Farhan has to come and give a speech in the clubhouse to motivate the guys? Everybody,
Lowe's, I can't imagine them playing in a
you know who Farhan is? Remember Major League? Remember the owner, the lady owner? Remember the whole team, and the manager was like, "We're gonna win despite her. Every time we win a game, a piece of clothing comes off." So they got a little statue of Farhan in the clubhouse saying, "We're gonna win despite this guy. We're gonna take off his tie, take off his fat XXX shirt, everything piece by piece as they keep winning. They're gonna win in spite of him, not because of him."
You know what number? What number would Farhan wear if he was a manager?
000.
I could see him in number 2, looking like this.
Yeah, I think Tommy could beat him in a race at age 75.
Could you imagine? You know who Farhan? When I think of Farhan in a uniform, who I think of?
Huh.
I think of the show. Do you guys remember the show Taxi?
Yeah, Danny DeVito.
Could you see Farhan would look like Danny DeVito in a uniform? Yeah. Danny.
Is he that short?
Not quite, but he still reminds me of a geek. Like, I mean, I just put the uniform on the guy. I would pay money to see a uniform on him.
Now,
they should do a Farhan bobblehead. Okay, Farhan bobblehead.
He'll have a little laptop in front of him.
Yes, that's it. Farhan bobblehead with a little spreadsheet and a laptop, and put those glasses, those big black glasses on with the bald head, and the big gut, the big, it kind of looked like the big sumo wrestler, and have Farhan in a bobblehead day, and then have him during Farhan bobblehead day dress up in uniform and bring out the lineup. That would pack the stadium.
I would be in attendance.
I would pay to see that. I mean, bring out the lineup. You make it anyway. You're making the lineup anyway. Just bring out the stinking card.
God, I would love to interview Matt Williams off camera and just hear what he really thinks about the structure of the organization and everything. This is a long-time Giant fan favorite, and he's old school. He's as old school as it gets. Whew, I would love to hear what he has to say. I know he's not a fan of what's going on at all. He just does his job, and that's it.
These guys, yeah. I mean, Farhan has been a stench on this organization since – I mean, we went through last night, Los, his 70 trades, and there's another 300 probably just moves that just picking up guys off the scrap heap, you know, guys that are just – I mean, who's this? We got two guys on the roster tonight that played, Hill and Bowman, whatever, Bowman. Are either of these guys going to be around in September?
Nope. They're not going to be around in a week.
Probably not.
So why does he keep going after these guys that are not here long term? Why?
It's a habit. It's his little itch. That's what he gets.
Yes, Matthew, that is right. Taxi. Yep. Danny DeVito, Andy Kaufman. That
Latka, I think was his name, Andy Kaufman. That was a good show. One of the greatest theme songs of any TV show ever. Taxi.
Yeah.
Bring back theme songs on TV shows.
Oh, yeah.
God, man, we could. That's a topic for another day.
You know, all this trade talk, right?
Yeah, let's get into some trade talk more.
I completely believe that if they get rid of Yaz, if they get rid of Conforto, if they get rid of Wade, if they get rid of Flores, they get rid of Estrada, even Chapman to an extent, maybe. I think they could plug in some young kids in those positions, and they could be a better team. I really do, because I mean, who won you the game today? It was Soler, Ramos, and Fitzgerald. Those
10 RBIs.
Exactly, the top three batters in the lineup. Those guys won you the game, and it was Kyle Harrison. It was the young kids that won you the game.
Yes.
There's no. I mean, Yaz contributes, Conforto contributes, Wade contributes. All these guys contribute, but I mean. Luciano could contribute. Matos could contribute. Schmidt could contribute. VR could probably contribute. You have guys that could also contribute. So I don't think if you sell, you're just throwing the season in the can. I think you could actually. I'm not going to say you could make the playoffs, but you could make the season a little more exciting.
Yeah, just selling doesn't mean you're waving the white flag. It means you're actually you might be getting better because you're playing.
I'm so tired of that narrative. They're selling. They're giving up on the season. I hate that.
Yeah, that Susan Slusser. Can we put up that? Can we put up that
I'll
tweet
get the
of
tweet,
Susan Slusser?
That is such a horrible, ignorant comment. Oh my God.
I think I responded to it too.
It really is.
I mean, she's just clueless. Absolutely clueless.
Dan, cue the clown music.
Okay, clown music for Susan Slusser. Are we ready for it?
Wait. All right.
Hold on here. I got to find it myself. Here we go. You got it? There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Oop, wrong one. All right, there it is. Susan Slusser. Selling to me is giving up. I think this team is better than that, especially with the third wild card. I'm not saying by any means they're world beaters, but with that third wild card, you have to go for it. Yeah, that's what people who don't know really a lot about baseball would say. Go for the third wild card when you're 5 games under 500. You haven't shown anything, and you don't have the talent to compete. What do you think the playoff odds are? I'm going to look. What do you think they're playing?
I bet it's less than like 10%.
She got a $500 bonus in her paycheck to say that per Farhan. That's the company line. All the Pavlik and all of them, Kuiper's son, they all have to say that. None of them are going to come out and say what we've been saying. They can't. They work for the team. So,
where do we find the playoff odds? Do they put? Have they?
I can put
them
them up right now.
Yeah. Okay. Put them up. I can't seem to find them there. The 0 playoff wins in 6 years. Kyle Martinez accurately says.
All right, here they are. Giants have a 13% chance of making the playoffs right now.
13%. Oh, make playoffs. 12.9. Wow.
So,
Win World Series. 0.5%. As Lowe says, we don't play just to get into the wild card. We play to win. And
too many fans though believe in that philosophy. They think it's successful to get in as a third wild card, and if they get swept in the first round, they consider it a successful year. It's a very different mindset.
It is.
I guarantee you the Warriors and the 49ers are not thinking that way.
No, some people just in some organizations just have different philosophies. It's
and
obviously
that's what we've been trying to fight on this show for 2 years.
Exactly. Yep.
Is to get people off of that way of thinking, because like the true Giants fans understand and know this team is very capable. Not
Padres
that long ago winning championships.
Yep. Padres 60%. Scroll up. I want to see what the other, like the Pirates and the Cardinals.
This is Fangraphs, by the way. Fangraphs.
Cardinals 32. Interesting. What are the Mets? Mets got to be close to 55, 60.
60.
And the Braves 70. Wow. So they're saying the wild card teams are the Braves, the Mets, and the Padres. What they're by odds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, if you're the Rays and you don't win, or your goal is to make the playoffs every year, that's acceptable because you're not a big market team.
Correct.
The Giants, like you said, Dan, last night, they're top 5 in revenue, right?
Yeah, exactly. Have been for years.
In San Francisco, that's a big market team. That's one of the biggest markets in the whole league.
You got arguably the best stadium in baseball. Definitely,
you should be going for the World Series
top 3
every year.
The top 3 ballparks. It's an iconic ballpark with legends. The greatest to ever play on Willie Mays Plaza. You got the statue of Willie Mays. In 10, 12, 14, the entire Major League Baseball media world was centered there at Oracle Park, and everybody talks about how beautiful it is. The place was rocking. But you know what? Who was running the organization? Hall of Famer Brian Sabian. And who was managing? Hall of Famer Bruce Bochy. You're going to put Farhan, the little bobblehead Farhan, up with Brian Sabian?
That's hilarious.
We should try to make that a graphic.
Can we? Any graphic artist out there? Hey, look, we're going to speak to the chat right now. I need a graphic artist that's listening. You can send it to NorCal Sports Network. Make us a bobblehead. NorCal Sports Network at Gmail. Send a bobblehead, and if it's good enough, we'll see if we can actually get it made, and we'll start selling. Get us a bobblehead drawing. We'll find a bobblehead market creator, and we'll start pumping out Farhan bobbleheads on NorCal Sports Network. Also, guys, we're 10 subs away from 2,100. We're at 2,090 right now. We're up 18 subs. We're up 18 subs in the last just week since we've had some show changes. We're growing. The channel views are skyrocketing. Okay. So this NorCal Sports Network, I got the finest guys right here. Okay. Bora and Los. and I've got guys in the bullpen that are available too or to pinch hit. I got guys like Lou Marston. I got Ryan Meridian. How do I say it? Ryan. I always butcher his name like my name gets butchered.
Ryan,
but you guys know Ryan. He's able to come in on the show. We got others that will come in. In fact, if anybody wants to do a trial, come on in and we'll have you on some night. You guys want to host the show? Take a half-hour slot and host the show.
Oh, we're gonna do a contest, aren't we?
Yeah, we're gonna have a little contest. See if we got any players. Oh, by the way, our big slugger on the bench. He would be a regular, but he's got his own show. Cody from Even Year Dynasty Show. That guy, Cody would be like, he's kind of like, he was a catcher. So imagine Mike Piazza coming up to the plate. Johnny Bench. This guy knows baseball. Cody is an up-and-coming rising star. Even Year Dynasty Show. He'll be on here, usually on Wednesday nights. Check Cody's channel out. And you want to talk about baseball knowledge. Cody's got maybe the best knowledge out there on the Giants minor league system. The guy watches all the Giants minor league games.
100% he does. And he does a great job.
Yeah. So this guy's he's a baseball. He's not, hey, look, Cody's watching ball, okay? He's not watching the dots move across the line. Cody is watching ball.
And he comes in uniform every show.
That's right. He does. He comes in uniform, man.
That's kind of funny.
The only uniform I got is my Joe Panic shirt. And that was because it was on sale after he got let go.
You still got Joe Panic?
I like Joe. Number 12. Joe Panic.
He's a 2-year wonder. Oh, I remember like seeing him like start to like not be able to hit, and I would make comments about that. And again, you become a fan of somebody and you're blind. You just don't want to see that they're struggling. But Panic is another guy that he was really good for 2-3 years, and then
he hit 300 one year.
Yeah, completely fell off. I mean,
that's why you can't always see. When I look at Panic versus Wisely, I would look at Panic as more of a ball player.
Yeah, but Panic, Panic was great. I mean, he was an all-star, and then he had the concussions issues, I think. I think that's what really slowed him down. Yeah. We're also on Instagram, NorCal Sports Network. On Twitter, NorCal Sports Network. We're on Spotify, right, Dan? Spotify, yes. Apple Music, podcasts. We're gonna do a little TikTok thing coming up.
TikTok.
We're also doing the YouTube Shorts, so go check out the YouTube Shorts, and we're gonna be pumping out videos.
Yeah, pumping out videos. Also, you guys are asking about Ned Coletti. I have been in contact with Ned. We're working on trying to do a show Sunday at 1:30. Even though the Giants game is on, Ned's schedule is packed. We want to do a trade show. I want to get the GM on. Want to get questions asked. So we're trying to get Ned on at 1:30. And, most people would who wants. You don't need to watch the Giants play anyway. You just come on. We'll hopefully we can get it done. Working on it. We're working on a collab effort. I spoke with Ned this morning, and that is the best time that he has available before the trade deadline. So we shall see. Bye, Victor.
We can still do polls, right? Can we do?
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see the heat, the warmth of the room for football, for 49ers football. I'm very curious. Is everybody in this chat, just throwing it out there, 100% only baseball fans, or do you like baseball and football and basketball? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Trying to get a read if the room is, I just like baseball or I like all the, Bay Area sports.
Because we're going to be doing football, guys. And we're going to be doing that soon. We're also going to do some Olympic coverage on the basketball team. I want to talk about the upcoming games. They play Serbia and Nikola Jokic, however you say it, in their first game. That should be an interesting matchup. So that's coming up just in a couple days, I believe. So thank you for the $2. He says, what is the email I should send the bobblehead to? You got to put that up. There it is right there. Can you see that there right on the bottom of the screen? NorCal Sports Network at gmail.com. Just remember NorCal Sports Network and just add Gmail and you got it. Send your bobblehead drawings. I want to see the creativity of everybody. And again, tell your friends and family, hit the subs. I know some of you guys are watching right now. I look at the analytics. I see the analytics. A lot of people watch, but don't subscribe. And that's true of all YouTube channels, by the way, guys. It's pretty much the majority of people who watch these things do not subscribe. I don't know why. It's not like it's anything.
It doesn't cost anything.
It doesn't cost anything. You don't get bugged.
You get notifications because
you don't even have to get notifications. You can turn notifications off.
And if you're not going to sub, just at least give a like.
Yeah, give a like. You're here.
But you should sub. You should sub.
Do some human kindness. Yeah, why not sub, man?
Why not? We're putting in an hour and a half to 2 hours almost every day. You can just 1 second hit sub.
Just hit that sub. I'd love to see that sub number go up and hit 2,100 while we're on the show.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm reading the chat right now, and there's a lot of people that just like baseball. Baseball fans are very interesting to me. Like, they really, really only like, a lot of them only like their sport for whatever reason. That's interesting. That's a fascinating topic to me. Like, what is it about baseball that you like over the other sports? Baseball is the slowest sport. It's like chess. I mean, that's what you love about it. It's it doesn't have a time. Well, it didn't used to have a time clock. Now it does have a clock on pitchers, but they don't have an overall scoreboard clock like basketball and football. But it is the slowest of the three sports, and it's interesting to me that casual fans would come and pick up the game of baseball. I'm just curious in the chat. Say why you love the game of baseball. Is it because you played it? It's easy to follow. You've been a fan for, years, decades, and why you don't like the other sports. I'm just curious. I just want to kind of get a feel for that. Because Boren, myself, and Dan will be talking 49ers. They're just a little bit more easy to talk about. They win.
Cool. Can you bring up the bobblehead picture? Okay. Let's see. This could be funny. Let me pull it up. Listen, let me go to my email here. Come on, Gmail. You can open book. I want Gmail. Oh, come on. What's going on? Sign in. I got it. Darkhouse Sports Network. Hold on. I got to sign in here. This should just be popped on right here.
Boro, what do you think of some of these answers about it? Baseball is the easiest to criticize. I don't know. Football's Monday morning quarterback and second guessing decisions, I think, is even more than baseball. What do you think?
I think with baseball, there are a lot of aspects to the game, especially if you've played, the ins and outs of the game. So I think it also changes on a day-to-day basis. So I think football has its things, baseball has its things. Overall, easier to criticize? That was a question?
Yeah. Well, they said baseball is an easier game to be analytical and second guess. And they do play every day. So you can come in the next day and talk about that game. And then the next day is the next game. Football, one game a week. And then after, the weekend games play, it's just a barrage of why the quarterback did this, why the coach didn't go for it on third or fourth down. That's interesting. I'm seeing some of the answers as analytical on decision making for baseball.
I don't know how to answer that question though, because I've
it's
never thought about
deep
that
question.
before.
That's what I like. I like digging deep into that brain of all of ours and asking why.
Baseball is also longer, so you get to it's. I mean, it's what, like 2 to 3 hours, but it's 9 innings. It's slower. I think I would probably agree. I would say baseball, just because there's so much baseball being played in a regular season. So there's more. I think there's more trends. There's more. I mean, I'd say there's definitely more analytical sides to the game, just of all these sites that you can see, like Fangraphs, Baseball Savant.
Do you think of the three major sports?
Mm-hmm.
Which one makes more of a difference in the outcome of a game? A manager, a basketball coach, or a football head coach?
Manager for sure.
Dan, what do you think?
I'm gonna say football.
I think I agree with football.
Oh yeah. I think in the moment it's it's football. It's football. Yeah, I mean, football coaches are creating the game plan. They're creating the plays. Yeah, it's football. I mean, they're always in the moment. They're always talking in the quarterback's ear. Yeah, it's football. I think managers for baseball,
and then I would say next it's basketball. I really think
so?
Yeah, I think baseball decisions, you have a lot of time to make decisions, and basketball, a lot of times it's matchups. You got to send in different guys based on who's playing, who's hot. You got to move guys in and out a lot of times, and you're playing 8-10 guys. Baseball, generally the game, it's pretty clear when decisions need to be made. This guy doesn't have it, get him out. Or this guy's coming up facing this particular pitcher, not likely a good outcome. I got a better option here. I think baseball is, for me, it's not easy, but if you're comparing it to football and basketball, football is very difficult. You got lots of game planning, and it is all on you. And then you got to make adjustments in the middle of the game because you made plans all week, and then, oh crap, it's not working because that defense is lined up to stop what I planned for. I need to make adjustments.
What's interesting about the baseball manager aspect of it is, from the National League point of view, when pitchers used to have to hit and there was no universal DH.
Mm-hmm.
Back in again, this doesn't apply to now because starting pitchers don't go past 6 innings hardly ever. But back in the day when they did, and you had a 1-1 game and your starter was dealing, and it's like the 7th, 8th inning, and you got a threat, do you pinch hit your pitcher that's pitching well, or do you leave him in? Because
that's right. I love the old National League.
And that's when you had again the pitcher hitting. The starting pitchers went 7 and 8 and 9 innings in those days, and not that long ago either. And you had to decide: do I take them out because we have first and second one out and pinch hit for them? That's pretty good.
You need to make the gut a little bigger.
That is pretty good.
Does he have a beard?
Does he?
I don't know, but you can make him a little darker. I think Farhan's a little darker and a little fatter.
And he has the hair on the side, but not on the top.
And maybe change it to 000. Yeah, but 2's not bad though. Hold on. Let me see if I can blow that up for. Wait. Let me see if I can blow that up a little bit.
He said he sent another one.
Oh, did he? All right. Let me. This is great.
That's pretty damn good. Good job, Victor.
All right, we love the talent here on NorCal Sports Network. This is awesome. Hold on here. Let me see.
While you're looking for that.
Oh, yes. This next one. Okay. Because I'm connected, I need to
Log off.
No, I need to forward it to my personal email because
I'm going to remove the screen right now. Okay.
StreamYard. Okay, go ahead and remove it.
Mhm.
StreamYard is connected to my other computer for some reason. So this one is going to get a laugh from people. Hold on, did it come through? Darn it, what did I do? Let me see if I can do this. I need a better mouse is what I need. All right, go there. Forward. Oh, it says it forwarded into drafts. What the heck? Okay. What else we got here?
You know, we talk so much about Farhan on this show, but I'm a little curious what grade everybody would give Bob Melvin so far as a manager this year.
I would give him a C. I haven't been too impressed with him. I haven't been that impressed with his bullpen management. I think some key decisions have not been made regarding the bullpen. I also think he's a little handcuffed because I think we can all agree that Farhan's making the lineup day in and day out, and he probably has a task of situations that Bob Melvin has to follow.
When he was interviewing for the job, didn't he know and just have an inkling that Farhan was going to micromanage this way?
Probably, yeah.
And if he did get that sense, why the hell would you want that job? When
I have no clue.
You're just getting a paycheck. Like you really are. I hate to say that, but you're just going through the motions. If you know that Farhan, that's better. That's better. The face, way everything. Better.
Yeah.
But if you know Farhan is like basically co-managing the team, how can any self-righteous, confident, been a manager for decades, take that job?
Maybe he didn't know.
Maybe he didn't know, but
maybe the emotions of, as they say in the chat, Cap, coming back home and you know, growing up in what Menlo Park area, or not Menlo, what
Atherton.
Mm-hmm. Atherton. Steph Curry, he grew up with some money, Melvin. So he's in Atherton. He's a Cal kid. He's gets traded to the Giants, I believe. I think he was drafted by Detroit. Plays for the Giants. Back with Brenly. I think he won a division. I think he was on that 87 division championship team, wasn't he, Los?
Yes, 87. He was the backup catcher to Brenly. Right.
And so maybe just that nostalgia of coming back and feeling like, and maybe Farhan told him certain things and he's going to have more autonomy. And, you know, who knows? I don't know.
I'll tell you something that we don't talk about. If they do get rid of Farhan and they bring somebody else in, that new guy, assuming it's not Pete Petulia, he's going to want his own manager. And Melvin's probably going to get the boot. I don't think he would keep him. Why?
I think Petulia, you said would, right?
Petulia would keep him, yeah. To keep it conservative and less risky, yeah, he would keep Melvin. But if they just brought a brand new guy on the
Kyle
scene,
makes a great point. It's not. I don't think Melvin's really the issue either. I think the players haven't been good. Look, imagine this team without Ramos. Where would they be? And now you got Fitzgerald showing up. The players that Farhan built to start the opening day roster. I put a tweet out on opening day. I said, this lineup does not scare anybody. and they are going to struggle to score runs. It was laughable, their lineup. I mean, Lamont Wade, I love Wade, but he was their three hitter, and 4 are your top power hitters. Wade has how many homers?
3.
2, 3.
I mean, I would say to Kyle Martinez that I agree the players have sucked and been very, very inconsistent this year, but I also don't think Melvin is that great because if the Giants I think if the Giants go in a direction with younger players and younger talent, I don't think he's the right manager for younger guys. I think he's more of a veteran manager, and that's just it's a bad mix. I want a newer, younger manager that can relate to these younger guys. That's just my opinion. I love Stephen Vogt. I wanted Stephen Vogt for the Giants job. I said that before the season started. I did not want Melvin. I don't like retread coaches that have been around in a lot of different places. And I didn't want him just because he was friends with Chapman or
Darren
worked with Farhan before.
Darren brings a good point. How can you excuse Melvin bringing in Luke Jackson 3 times a week? Yeah, Luke. Yeah,
as well as leaving Randy Rodriguez in a day after he just pitched. I think he threw like 30 pitches, and he threw him in a second day in a row, and he got hit. I think there's also something to be said that Kapler is had about the same production with the team that was, I think we could argue, worse than what the team is right now, just on paper. And I mean, we all dislike Kapler, but he got him to 500, and it's about the same team record wise. But I mean, I would argue that the team overall is better than what it was the past 2 years.
Yeah, it's been. So, what do you guys think of that Farhan Zaidi bobblehead? It looks pretty good. I
don't think he has a beard. I don't think he has a beard. But everything else is great.
Yeah, I just can't recall him having a beard. I think he's clean shaven. Who put that out? Victor?
Yeah, Victor.
By
he never talks to the media, so I mean, he talks like once every 2 months or something like that. So, yeah, the last time he spoke to the media was right before the All-Star break, I believe. And so I think he is clean shaven, but that's a simple correction.
Dan, do we want to get into the squares?
Yeah, let's do the squares and close her out. And then we'll go over the lineups. Tomorrow, guys, we got some squares we're selling. Not selling. This is for a fundraiser for a good cause. A young boy lost his mother. She was only 30-something. She died tragically. And then a few days later, the little dog that was a therapy dog for the mom and the boy, the dog died. And we are Lou Marston of the chat kindly offered his 4 seats, which are worth $650+. Those 4 seats right there. Did you guys see the Robbie Ray interview tonight?
Mm-hmm. The little girl.
Yeah, those are the seats. They were standing right behind the interview. Those seats right there, you can win all 4 seats for $15 ticket, buying one. You can buy up to 5. There's about 40 spots left. 60 of or so have been sold. You not only get those 4 seats, you get to go on the field prior to the game and be on the field for batting practice for either the Atlanta Braves or the Giants. You get to pick. So you get let into the stadium earlier than everybody else, the general public, and you get to enjoy that. Plus your $15 is going directly to, we're going to send it all to GoFundMe, to this account. So why not throw out $15, buy a square. You want 3 squares, 45, 5 squares going to cost you $75. But everybody should be able to throw out $15 if you're interested in if you want to go to a Giants game and have some of the best seats in the entire stadium, here's your shot. You buy 15, you buy one, you got a 1 in 100 shot. You buy 5, you got five cracks at your number coming up. Okay? So send me your information that you're interested in buying a square to NorCalSportsNetwork@gmail.com. I will turn around and Venmo or email you my Venmo account. We're holding all the money in the Venmo account, and then I will, once we get it all put together, we will send that money off to this GoFundMe page. So let's look at getting a square, guys. It is a great cause, and please go ahead and do that. Tell your friends, tell people about this. You can choose the squares that are available, the numbers, and you can see that on the far right column, 60, 70, and 80 and 90 are all available. So pick your favorite player's number, whatever it is, your birthday, something. You could favorite persons, could be a football player. You know, if you love Jerry Rice, you might want number 80. You know, if you're someone like who's in the chat, who can I have fun with in the chat?
Aaron Lost.
Let's see. Aaron Lost. I think he's already got a couple of numbers, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. Didn't he just picked up some last night?
Yep.
Yeah. What number did he grab? I can't remember.
47 and 83, I think.
Yeah, there it is. Aaron L. Okay. So if you want to, Matthew's in the chat. I needed an old person. I was going to you might want to pick, 14 for
Vida.
Yeah, Vida, yeah. Or pick 45, the year you were born. Or
that will really test the baseball knowledge. The numbers that have, the boxes that have not been picked, the numbers have not been picked. What baseball player immediately comes to mind? The first number I see is 13, and nothing's coming to my mind. 14 is Vida.
Yeah.
18 is Matt Cain.
Yeah, that's right, Matt Cain.
36, Gaylord Perry.
Gaylord. 37, Kelby Tomlinson. Don't remember who else. Mike Krukow.
No, he was 38.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm almost positive he was 38. You know who was 37? I think it was Kelly Downs.
That's right, Kelly Downs. Mark Graves says Slater was 13.
Nobody picked that one.
No one's going to pick 13.
That's bad luck. Bad luck.
You just jinxed that number, Mark Graves.
That one just Ryan says he'll take 13.
Hey, there's a lot of Slater fans in here. We know we don't remember who you were by name, but there was a lot of people.
Oh, Aaron chose 47 for the great late Rod Beck.
Nice. 39, the first number that comes to mind is the Cobra. Dave.
Look at Cliff, play on words. Aaron already lost with those numbers. Aaron lost. How did he get the name Lost? It was something I said in the chat. He was Aaron, and I said
that's not his real last name, but
I know.
I'll let him tell you.
Yeah, we named it. I said something about you lost or you whatever. I can't remember, and then he changed. All of a sudden, he changed it. I can't. Aaron, you'll have to tell me what it was about. Oh, Arias, 13 and 18. There's a connection right there.
There you go.
Why don't you get 13 and 18? You might have a shot. That might have been. I mean, that's top. Don't you think that's a top 5 moment all time in San Francisco Giants?
For sure, yeah.
That perfect game.
We're both wrong on Kruko's 39. Yeah, 39. I believe Dave Dravecki was 43.
Yes. Somebody should grab Dave Dravecky. I might take that. That might be my last one. I love Dave Dravecky.
I met him at the airport 3 months ago, flying into San Francisco.
Cool. Did you say anything to him?
He was yeah, of course. Oh, I am not bashful going up to celebrities. I've gone up to many at all. Yeah, real nice guy.
He is. What'd you say to him? Just loved as a Giant.
I just told him I remember the '87 season and how he was so dominant in that series against the Cardinals and how they should have pulled that one out, and just wished him the best. Appreciated his time as a Giant. He thanked me.
Yeah, that was the game. Candy Maldonado lost the ball.
Lost the ball in the lights. Jeez.
1-0. 1-0. Oh,
God, I hated the Cardinals in that time too.
Didn't you hate them?
Oh, they just had all that speed.
Ozzie Smith
and now I'm being a hypocrite, and I want my team to have a lot of speed, but not like that. I want a little power. Those Cardinal teams had no power. They were just a bunch of 20 to 40 stolen base guys up and down the lineup, and they played on that artificial turf at Busch Stadium.
Didn't they have Jack Clark, or was he already gone?
He came later. I want to say, he was not on the '87 team. I think he was on the '89-90 team.
Something like that. I just remember him hitting that ball off Tom Niedenfuhr to knock them out. That was just so fun.
And just looked into the dugout at Lasorda.
Tommy, yeah. Because Tom, I remember listening to Vince Scully on the broadcast too, because it was a national game, but they're saying, are they going to pitch to Clark? Niedenfuhr. Oh, man.
Despite your disgust of the Dodgers, Dan, I think you and Lasorda would have had a great time at dinner.
Oh, Tommy, yeah.
Just chopping it up, the whole Italian thing and the pasta, and everything. Oh, Tommy be dropping 4-letter bombs after a few drinks. It'd be hilarious. Tommy was great for the game. Say what you will about the Dodgers and Lasorda, but he was a great ambassador for baseball.
Yeah. Yeah, he was awesome. I mean, that guy's mouth was unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, yeah, that was, but, well, guys, we're going to take the squares down and just make sure if you want to get those squares, time's running out. $15. Pretty cheap. We could have made them. We were looking at 25. And I remember suggesting 15. I was even thinking 10. I don't know. What do you think, guys? If we don't get any sales, what do you think? Do you think we want to? Well, we can talk about it afterwards. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about it. But hey, guys, we're going to head out. It's Friday night. We've been going for an hour and 40 minutes plus. We will be back tomorrow night. It's a doubleheader, guys. First game's at 4:15. I like the doubleheaders that start at like 1:00, and then the first game ends at say 3:30, 3:45. Next game just started at 4:30, and then get it over by 7, and then have a nice concert. And isn't there a concert tomorrow too, or after the doubleheader?
I think it's after the doubleheader. Yeah.
I think it's in between games.
Is it in between?
Yeah.
That's what I thought too, but I don't know how that's going to work. If the first game's at 4,
the first game's at 4 local time.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
That's what it says.
Or is it 4 Eastern time, 1:00?
No, it's 4 Pacific. That's what it says.
Damn.
On the MLB app.
That's very.
That's
odd.
what I thought it was before too.
That's a short.
I thought it was in between.
That's a short ass concert in between 2 songs and he's out.
I'll look at the Giants' schedule here on tomorrow. It's 2 games, 4:05, and then the second game to be determined. Meaning, I would think the second game's like at 7:30. You can't start
you can't start a game at like 9.
Yeah, so I think it's 4:05 and 7:30.
And then the concert has to be after it then.
Man.
Yeah. I think so. You're not going to bring a bunch of stage and equipment.
That better be a good band, because like that's 6 hours of baseball. Who's going to be sticking around for the concert afterwards?
So this concert's probably going to be like at.
I could have swore I saw the
10
concert
o'clock.
was in between games, but
I don't know why they're starting at 4:05.
if they're starting at 4. That makes no
Maybe
sense.
the concert's before the game.
Could be. Why wouldn't they start a doubleheader around noon like the old days?
Yeah, didn't you remember, Los? I was talking about that last night. Weren't they were always on Sundays? First game was like 12:05, 12:15, whatever. Second game was always like, remember, it would be like only 25 minutes between games. You just like, and it wasn't always that packed. Man, the stick was the place to be.
Oh, one of my best memories was an Astros-Giants doubleheader when they were fighting with the Astros for what was the year that that guy for the Astros was throwing such a nasty split finger. He couldn't be hit. I think he no-hit the Giants that year. God, why can't I remember his name?
Negro?
No. He threw a filthy split finger, and he threw hard.
Oh, Mike Scott?
Mike Scott, thank you.
Yeah.
That year. Was that, Jesus, was that
80?
89, 88?
No, it was around 80, early 80s.
Early 80s. Okay. Yeah, they were fighting the Astros for the division, and I went to a doubleheader on a Sunday. Sat in upper deck for like $6 for 2 games. Didn't bring any kind of sunscreen and got burnt like hell and loved it. It was great.
Let's take a look at tomorrow's lineups before we get out of here. Tomorrow, let's see, game 1.
86. That's correct, Ron.
Blake Snell against Feltner, a right-hander. And then game 2, they're facing, it's Birdsong against, we don't know, undecided. I have no idea who they're facing second games. It's pretty hard.
I'm not accustomed to their starting rotation.
Man, I love Birdsong, man. That's my boy.
Yeah, Giants have a chance to sweep tomorrow with Birdsong and Snell.
Well, that's going to get everybody's hopes up high again, like we always say, and it's going to get everybody false believing in this team.
Yeah, and they're playing the Rockies.
Beating the Rockies.
Come on, they're playing the Rockies.
No matter how many times we go through this, they're going to keep falling for it.
All right, opening lineup tomorrow, leading off. Soler, batting second, probably Wade. Batting third, Ramos.
Fourth could be Fitzgerald.
When was the last time Ramos had a day off?
It's been a minute.
Man.
But I mean, he just had a multi-hit game and he hit a home run.
All right,
I know.
Which game is Bailey catching?
He went from playing spotty to playing every game.
I think Bailey will catch the first game. He'll get a rest for the second game. Then,
you know what I would do tomorrow? I'd send that Hill down and bring up Sable. I'd want a third catcher for a doubleheader.
Yeah, it's a good point.
What's Hill do for you?
Nothing.
I mean, Sable can play left field and he can hit. I mean,
another guy we like that's getting kind of screwed.
Yeah, that's a guy with speed. I don't even know how he's done this year. We haven't even heard from him. But so I don't know what the lineup's going to be, but I'll say Bailey bats fourth, Chapman fifth, sixth will be no. What did I say first?
I think Fitzgerald could bat fourth.
The way he's swinging now, why not?
Right?
Well, I think Fitzgerald's going to be.
He's going to be in the top of the lineup.
Who's first? Did I say
Soler's first? I mean,
you're going to have Yaz and Conforto in there too.
Well, if none of them get traded.
True. Wouldn't that be something they get traded between games?
That's a.
Hey, before I forget, I want to mention Kruko mentioned something, and I've been thinking about this for a lot of years, and I'm glad he brought it up. Kyle Harrison tipped his hat as he walked off the field.
Nice.
I haven't seen that in a long time. It's such a simple gesture. I love Matt Cain, but one thing I didn't like about him is he never tipped his hat. he just walked stoically off the field and never tipped. I swear he had that little walk, man. Just, dude, it's like you're getting a standing ovation. Show gratitude to the fans that help pay your salary. It doesn't cost anything to take your hat off. It's old school.
Tip the cap.
Tip the hat. I loved it. I loved Harrison doing that as a young kid. Vogelsong did that all the time, but that's a guy that went through a lot of hard times to make it. And sometimes those guys are the ones that appreciate what they have. Vogelsong, I don't think that guy ever made more than like $6 million a year. And he was a money pitcher in those World Series teams. So good for Harrison. Hopefully more starting pitchers around the league do that. Because there's, quite frankly, a very big disconnect between professional athletes and the fans. And I like to see that.
Yeah. Conforto possibly rumors of Michael Conforto going back to the Mets, replacing DJ Stewart this week.
Good.
Ryan says will send a chill down his spine after that I haven't felt in years. Mets are right there. Could you imagine Conforto going back to the Mets and getting that? Might give him.
That'll give him a boost.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How many times have you seen a player get this boost when he all of a sudden goes back to his roots where he had success? And we saw it, a little bit of it even with Pablo after he came back a little bit and he had a couple of good seasons. There's just even after he looked like he was washed.
Hey, Nick Ahmed took a little shot at the Giants yesterday.
Oh, wasn't that something else?
Yeah.
Wasn't that something?
Conforto, if he gets traded, you best believe now that he's not part of the organization, now his paycheck does not say San Francisco Giants on it. Watch what comes out. A little bit maybe about Farhan and the organization in general. But that was hilarious for Ahmed to say, oh, now I'm part of a team that is going to win and has a chance to win a championship. Hint, hint.
I mean, that's not, I mean, I guess it's a shot, but it's not anything that's not obvious. I mean, Dodgers are
but he didn't need to say it.
He didn't need to say, of course. Yeah.
But he did.
Yeah.
And did you see what else he said? He goes, when I let go, I feel like my bat was coming around. I worked on a couple things in the 2 weeks I was gone. He says, I'm a summer hitter. And so watch him. That really improves the Dodgers, because if he can just hit 230-ish for him and play solid defense, now you get a chance to put Mookie back in the outfield.
How many times has Tyler Roger blown a late inning game against the Dodgers? They have him figured out. They do.
I don't trust Tyler Rogers.
For a guy that throws a sinker, he gives up a lot of homers. Sinkers are not supposed to give up a whole bunch of homers.
Right.
And Nick Ahmed took you deep? Wow. He's not going to be winning any home run hitting contest. Him versus Joseph.
And he hit it to a pretty deep part of the field. That was like deep left center. Almost straight away.
Nick Ahmed versus Joe Strain, who had more power.
Joe Strain. Second base, Joe Strain.
Yep.
Oh, my
no
goodness.
Power at all.
Joe Strain. Yep. Yeah, those are the guys that we used to think when I was growing up. Oh, we get Joe Strain. I used to think we're solid all around the diamond. Strain, LeMaster. And third baseman was, I don't know if it was Darrell Evans at that point or whoever we had, but,
I thought Manny Trio was going to be so good with the Giants, and
how about Rennie Stennett? Rennie Stennett, I thought was going to be like. Man. I remember.
We should do a show of all time busts Giants.
Yeah,
just for laughs, just to remember.
Yes. All right. Well, hey guys, we are going to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow night. I would say. Gosh, I hate doing those so late. Probably be a late show, 9:30, 10, unfortunately. Doubleheader, probably wrap up the doubleheader and have a little talk. But we're out of here for tonight. Thanks for joining. Any last thoughts, guys, before we get out of here?
No, I said all I needed to say. I'm all worn out.
You're all worn out? Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Or is worn out.
Well, let's go back to the kids. Let's play the kids.
He's ready to go back to Amsterdam.
Yeah. We shall see you guys tomorrow night. We talked about playing the kids. We got to add Fitzgerald into this mix. We need Fitzgerald. He is that.